Okay. I want to talk about positive preaching. Evangelizing America. It seems that positive preachers are few and far between. When it comes to connecting the positive with the negative. We're in revival. This is day 4 of revival at church, and preachers come up from the south that I was talking to about being a little more positive in his preaching, and this preacher, he did, he's kind of leaning that way, but it's really hard to get the idea across to someone who is who is used to preaching negative all the time, and who believes that God has this kind of preaching is the only thing that can move people. When truthfully, you really have to identify with the people that you're talking to. Now, a lot of people, when it comes to God, they have a natural shortage, and I'm trying to totally understand this myself as well. But when it comes to God, they know that they're coming short. The Bible says, for all men have come short of the glory of God. They have sinned and come short of the glory of God. So inside of them, they know that. So you have to get in touch with that reality of where they are. A lot of people, successful ministers, do that by talking about funny stuff. And instead of just saying out what they want, they put it in a little story, make it kind of funny, and in that become humble before the people. One of the best actors, Stan Laurel, that I know of, he was so successful because he was so humble before the people. And pastors, I know, the pastors that I deal with, the ones that are successful, they know this. A lot of them know this. Not all of them know. But they realize they have to be humble before the people, or they're going nowhere. Excuse me, I'm doing this video late. I should have had it on earlier, but anyway, they're going nowhere before the people. And this preacher friend of mine, who him and we became friends over the past couple of days before they didn't know me from Adam. He calls me Grundy now because that's where I'm from. Being humble. Moses was humble. God used him. The Bible says most humble man on the face of the planet in his day. Let's look at it. Of course, you always want to use Bible Hub. Okay, it's Romans 12, actually, if I can get this thing to pop up. Yeah. And God likes to use humble people too, as a matter of fact, And He uses more than just, God uses kings, and God uses people that are muscular, Samson. But God's favorite person to use is Moses, and this is the people that he runs rescue to the quickest. It says right here, Romans 12:3 in the King James Version Bible. So Moses was a very meek man, above all men which were on the face of the earth. And the Lord spake suddenly to Moses and to Aaron and Miriam. Miriam is brother and sister to Moses. He says, "Come out, you three, into the tabernacle of the Lord, of the congregation." And the three came out, and the Lord came down in a pillar of a cloud and stood at the door of the tabernacle and called Aaron and Miriam, and they both came forth. And he said, "Hear now my words. If there be a prophet among you, I, the Lord, will make myself known unto him in a vision and speak to him in a dream. My servant Moses is not so, who is faithful in all my house." Okay, and this is where God judges Miriam because she spoke against Moses. And the anger of the Lord was kindled against them, and he departed. But the thing of it is this: Moses was successful because of his attitude. God run to his rescue. Men are made in the image of God. Men do the same thing Moses did. Men run to the rescue. Who doesn't like the underdog? You know what I'm saying? Who doesn't like the underdog? And if you can talk yourself into becoming humble, if you're okay, Samson in reality was not a big man, but the Hollywood version of Samson is, you know, Tarzan or something like that. If you make yourself to become that in physical appearance, it's harder for you to become humble before the people in a humble appearance before the people, even though that's what God wants. God wants us to keep in shape and all that, of course, but the Lord wants us to keep a low profile, especially public profile, you know. And because like I was talking about Laurel and Hardy, that Laurel was actually the brains of those two, and Laurel made all the decisions. He signed all the contracts with, and he went through them first, and he did most everything that had to do with making the movie as far as producing, and they became famous. Wow. Of course, they joined in with a movie company later on, but under Stanley's direction, they became famous in the humble appearance, and even had some of his kids crying because they thought he was getting mistreated the wrong way. So, and there's other people, you know. There's other comedians, you know, Gilligan, and becoming humble, and all the comedians, all the upright comedians, Christian comedian Mark Lowry, you know, got to become humble, and stuff like that. Jesse Duplantis, another Christian comedian, and he makes light of his intelligence. Therefore becoming humble before the people. And sometimes I'm not really sure if he's joking about it. Just like me, you know, I could probably make some light of myself in that area. But this preacher friend of mine at work or at church, we've been having just not. I thought about offering him $100 if he would just throw the word in there. If he could 10 times, you know, I give him $10 for every one that he said during his service. But you know, I didn't hear. I don't think I've ever heard I don't think I've ever heard the word love come out of him. You know, even though the Bible said God is, he's talking about a God of love, and he doesn't talk about love. Becoming humble before people will make you a success before God. Amen. Becoming humble before people will make you a success before God. I'm glad that my pastor pushes me in that direction. He always is pushing me. And I need it. I need it. God bless you. Thank you for joining. We'll see you next time. Across the Middle Ministry.